trying every diet, every fix. But one day, she stopped chasing quick solutions and started choosing self-love. She went silent on social media. No more sad posts, no more emotional breakdowns online. Just discipline, gym, mindset, sleep. And 6 months later, she walked into her reunion, not just physically transformed, but mentally unshakable. People were speechless because she didn't show pain. She showed progress. Even in the corporate world, when you get fired or let go unjustly, the instinct is to defend, to complain, but the smart ones, they rebuild. Quietly, they find a better job. They launch their own business. They level up. And one day, their former boss sees their name on a billboard, in an article, on a stage. That's the kind of glow that comes from pain turned into power. You're not here to explain your scars to people who never tried to stop your bleeding. You're here to let your healing be loud through your actions. Let the world see the new version of you and wonder how you got there. Don't tell them. Show them. Don't prove pain, prove progress. Because pain may be real, but so is your power to rise from it without saying a word. Healing isn't about pretending nothing happened. It's about refusing to let what happened control how you move forward. Too many people heal in pieces, scattered, shattered, clinging to fragments of strength while their spirit leaks silently. But real healing, it happens in power, not in rage, not in revenge, not in relapsing into old patterns. It happens when you rise, rebuild, and reclaim every broken part of you with dignity. Because healing in power doesn't mean you don't feel the pain. It means you own it, and then you outgrow it. Think of the woman who went through a heartbreak so deep it shook her to the core. He walked away, without closure, without explanation, leaving her drowning in questions. She could have broken down publicly, posted every tear on her feed, begged for clarity, but instead, she chose silence. She disappeared from social media, not to hide, but to heal. She started therapy, she journaled every day, she took solo walks, reconnected with herself. She unfollowed his energy, not just online, but emotionally. And when she came back, she was different. Her smile didn't seek validation anymore. Her silence wasn't sad. It was sacred. She healed, not in pieces, but in power. There's a man who lost his job after giving 10 loyal years to the same company. No warning, no gratitude, just a cold exit. The pain was real. The fear was intense. He had a family to feed. But instead of falling apart, blaming the system, or numbing the hurt, he took that pain and turned it into purpose. He started learning new skills, took up freelancing, built something from scratch. The same people who once dismissed him now invite him to speak at their panels. Because he didn't just move on, he rose up. That's what healing in power looks like. Or picture the young girl who was body shamed all her life by relatives, classmates, even people close to her. Their words became her mirror. She hated her reflection, tried every diet, every pill, nothing worked. One day, she looked in the mirror and said, "This isn't about them anymore. This is about me." She moved not to shrink, but to feel alive. She stopped letting the world define her beauty and started defining her own worth. She didn't post a before and after. She posted confidence. She stopped chasing approval and started commanding respect. That's healing in power. There are women walking through betrayal, through abandonment, through trauma, and still showing up every day, at work, for their children, for themselves, not because they're not hurting, but because they refuse to let that hurt define them. Every time they choose peace over pettiness, growth over gossip, prayer over panic, that's not weakness. That's power. And sometimes healing in power looks like setting boundaries, like saying no without guilt, like walking away from people who still want access to the old you, even though they never respected the real you. It's hard, it's lonely, but it's sacred. Because healing isn't a performance, it's a personal revolution. You don't need to explain your process to anyone. You don't need to justify your distance, your silence, your glow up. Healing in power is quiet. It's sacred. It's choosing to rise even when your knees still shake. There's a girl out there who deleted his number, not because she stopped loving him, but because she started loving herself more. There's a boy who blocked the friend he once called brother, because that friendship had become a one-sided battle. They aren't bitter, they're better. Because they're healing in decisions, not delays. They're healing in alignment, not attachment. They're choosing peace over chaos, wholeness over temporary highs. That's what healing in power really looks like. Not perfection, not performance, but presence. The presence of strength, the presence of self, the presence of a soul that refuses to break twice over the same thing. There comes a moment in your life when you must decide, will you blow up in anger or glow up in silence? Because when people betray you, provoke you, insult you, and try to drag your spirit down, they're waiting for a reaction. They're watching to see if they still control your peace. But the real flex, the real power, is when you don't explode. You evolve. You glow up so hard, they question why they ever underestimated you in the first place. That's the kind of response they never see coming. Imagine this. You're in a relationship where the person you love starts disrespecting you, taking your loyalty for granted, flirting with others, testing your limits. Your heart breaks. But instead of crying to him, you rise for you. You rise for you. Your heart is broken. Your heart is hard. 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 Forget about spending Christmas with your spouse in the same hotel room. You don't blow up his phone with angry messages. You don't scream your worth into a void of silence. You glow up. You start showing up for yourself. Your nails look fresh. Your skin is glowing. Your peace is protected. Your mind gets sharper. Your circle gets smaller. Your standards get higher. He's left confused, not because you cursed him out, but because you leveled up without him. At work, your coworker tries to sabotage your project, spreads lies, takes credit, makes you look bad. You could blow up, storm into HR, cause drama, call them out publicly, but instead, you document everything. You stay focused. You get results. You build quiet alliances. And when promotion time comes, you're the one being called into the corner office. Because while they were busy plotting, you were busy glowing. Your professionalism spoke louder than their pettiness ever could. That's when you could make your fortune. Your professionalism spoke louder than their pettiness ever could. And it's not just about external glow, it's about internal peace. Picture a girl who was constantly bullied in school, called ugly, mocked for her clothes, laughed at for her weight. She could have carried that rage. She could have snapped back at every insult. But instead, she transformed the pain into passion. She started focusing on fitness, not for the world, but for her own strength. She started dressing for herself, speaking up for herself, surrounding herself with people who saw her. That's what happened to me. Not by bullying in her feet, but by suspending the narrative that she had to fit. Not by bullying her feet, but by actually deciding to put power over mental frame structure and go for it. That's what happened. Years later, she walks into the same town, and those same bullies can't take their eyes off her, not just because she looks different, but because she walks different. That's the glow up they never expected. Sometimes glow ups are silent. The world doesn't need a notification. You don't have to announce every upgrade. Just be so deeply invested in your evolution that you stop explaining your transformation. So deep pandemics, why did they come about? Why did they come? What is your evolution? What is your passion? What is your purpose? That's the glow up they never expected. Sometimes glow ups are silent. The world doesn't need a notification. You don't have to announce every upgrade. Just the glow up they never expected. Sometimes glow ups are silent. The world doesn't need a notification. Your energy starts to change. You walk into rooms and people feel your light, even if they once tried to dim it. The people who ghosted you, now they watch you like a storyline they regret exiting. The ones who broke you, now they wonder how you're still blooming. Because you didn't throw tantrums, you threw away old versions of yourself. There's a woman who was cheated on, humiliated and left. Everyone expected her to become bitter. You expected to become bitter. Instead, she became better. She launched her own business, got into therapy, started glowing from the inside out. Her laughter came back, but deeper. Her eyes shined again, but with wisdom. She never spoke badly about him. She never revealed the hell she went through. But her glow said it all. Even online, people throw shade, leave hateful comments, try to cancel your joy. You could clap back, go live, rant for hours. But the real ones, they post their progress, not their pain. They let their consistency scream. Every new achievement becomes a quiet reminder that no one can dim a light that was built in darkness. To glow up means to outgrow, to evolve, to rise without resentment. It means you took everything that tried to break you and turned it into the foundation that built your higher self. While others were waiting for your meltdown, you were creating your breakthrough. That's the kind of glow that leaves people speechless. Not because of what you said, but because of who you've become. You were never meant to beg for peace. You were born to become it. You were never designed to chase validation. You were created to walk in your worth, with your head high, your spirit grounded, and your heart unshaken. Life will test you. People will provoke you. Pain will knock on your door, wearing different faces. Betrayal, silence, disappointment, disrespect. But every time you choose not to react and instead respond with wisdom, you are not losing a battle. You are mastering the war within. They thought breaking you would silence you. They thought hurting you would distract you. But what they never expected was your glow. Your silence became your power. Your stillness became your strategy. Your healing became your weapon. While they whispered your name in rooms full of envy, you were preparing your throne in rooms full of growth. You didn't need to fight them. You outgrew them. You didn't need to expose them. You elevated so high, their lies couldn't touch your truth. Because real queens don't argue. Real kings don't chase clowns. And real warriors don't scream. They rise. They transform. They become a storm of quiet confidence. Let them watch. Let them wonder. Let them feel the absence of your reaction and the weight of your elevation. You don't need to clap back. Your comeback is loud enough. The next time someone disrespects you, remember this. Your worth is not up for discussion. You don't have to remind them of who you are. You simply become someone they can no longer reach. The glow up isn't just physical. It's mental, emotional, spiritual. It's the moment you stop begging people to stay and start thanking God they left. It's when you no longer explain your silence because your peace is priceless. It's when your pain no longer screams because your progress whispers louder. Let your discipline become the revenge. Let your self-love become the healing. Let your focus become the force that silences every rumor, every insult, every person who thought you were done. And when they look at you, glowing, winning, shining, they ask, what happened to you? And you'll simply smile and say, I stopped reacting. I started rebuilding. There's no point in pitting yourself against it. You were destined. You don't need to announce your growth. Your presence will speak for itself. You don't need to prove your loyalty. Your absence will explain everything. People will remember how you carried yourself when they tried to tear you down. Let them remember the silence that screamed strength. Let them remember the glow that burned their lies. Let them remember the rise they never saw coming. You are not defined by what hurt you. You are not defined by what hurt you. You are defined by how you rose from it. Every betrayal was just a redirection. Every closed door was divine protection. Every rejection was a blessing in disguise. They may have broken your heart, but they could never touch your spirit. And that, right there, is your superpower. So protect your energy like it's your destiny, because it is. Guard your peace like it's your crown, because it is. And move like a storm, dressed in silence, powerful, unbothered, unshakable. This is your season to stop explaining your worth and start embodying it. To stop reacting to chaos and start responding with class. To stop waiting for justice and start creating joy. Your glow up is not to impress anyone. It's to remind yourself of the fire inside you that no one could extinguish. They wanted to break you. You became unbreakable. They wanted to silence you. You became unforgettable. They wanted to stop you. But you became unstoppable. And now, the world has no choice but to watch you shine.